let me turn down this music a little bit more. Y'all may be able to hear it still, but can't have it too loud, I guess. So I've been noodling around with more stuff, fixing my set back there. Got a couple of things just kind of hanging out right there. One of my computers sitting right there. Pardon the mess if you see anything in the background. Yeah. Anyway. I go by Mayor Watt. Welcome to ohmTown. ohmTown is a community built around this website right here. And I stream on Twitch because I like a live audience. I don't like prepping for pretty much anything. I like to vamp, as it might be called by some. And I just like to hang out and talk about what gets pulled into ohmTown.com. You feel free to swing on by, sign up, become a citizen of ohmTown. Keep on checking out all of the categories, and then under them are groups. And it's just constantly ingesting information. And if you listen to any of my VODs, which until I'm affiliate or partner, I'm stuck at them only existing for a certain amount of time, and they will disappear. I have recordings of them so that I can put them back when I know that they'll be stored long term. But until then, there's a time limit, which might be good. I don't know. I have all kinds of VODs that are boring as hell, and nobody watches them, and it doesn't really matter, right? So if you're curious, this is a Blue Spark SL blackout. So everything's black, even the chrome bits are blackish. And it's pretty neat. Has a great sound profile. And eventually it'll drop out of sight. My stand is a little too tall, and I really don't like it being like all up in there, up in my grill. But at any rate, I've now done this for 7 whole days straight. 8 if you count the pre-show launch on the 30th. I'm looking for people to follow, subscribe, join. Let me know that you're interested in this kind of thing. I'm not advertising anywhere else. I'm not hyping it up anywhere. I just want it to be natural, but I'll still ask here in my stream. If you know anybody, let them know that I exist. We can chat. I focus on 3 main things: business, society, and technology. That is the area of subject matter expertise, I guess you could say. The combining of business, technology, and society. And it's what I do for a living, and it's what I want to do here on Twitch. And there's so many shows here that I can't do a show on them all. So I'm looking for people to host and co-host. So if you're interested, drop me a note. Let me know one way or another, and I will set up a meeting. We can chat. Find an area that you are interested in. If there's one that isn't listed here and you are interested in it, and I am subsequently interested in it because you pitch me a good set of facts, I could integrate it into ohmTown, and we'll talk about the specifics if it's accepted, or otherwise if you're curious. but I want to do, I personally want to do more shows with a co-host, because this really isn't all about me. I mean, I don't mind. I actually love hanging out online and chatting about the various bits of information that ohmTown gathers up. But it's even better when you can riff off of more people. And right now, I'm brand new, so I'm not getting that many people in my chat. But it would be great to see more people. So stop on by. I know it's Friday and it's 6 o'clock. It's now 6:08. And what I do in each of my episodes is I run down some of these categories and we talk about it. So right off the bat, right? One of my favorite topics are RPGs. Some people know more about it than me. I would probably say a lot of people know more about it than me, but I'm really interested in it. I buy them regularly. I'm actually looking at one that I spoke about yesterday. Oh, and that too. Let me warn everybody. I practice this thing called associative thinking. And so what you just witnessed was me bounce between 4 different things. And this last one is in reference to yesterday's VOD. And what happened was I had a segment of one of my previous VODs silenced, right? So the system detected a copyrighted work and silenced it, except that I am subscribed and licensed by Pretzel, right? So that Pretzel Rocks is sitting on one of my monitors right there. And streaming this music. And there's an option to make me YouTube safe, allow mature, which I don't have active, and instrumental. So I don't have YouTube safe activated because I'm not on YouTube and I'm not streaming to YouTube. I'm streaming to Twitch, and there is no Twitch safe option. I assume that Twitch and Pretzel Rocks are compatible. Well, 6 minutes of one of my other VODs, which I would term incidental. The music you hear in the background is incidental. It isn't the reason why you come to the channel. It isn't the reason why I am streaming. It is essentially appreciable, but still background. But it was still automated, as far as I know, automated and blocked. Kind of a bummer, right? And we were talking about copyright yesterday. And I've spoken about it previously. One of the things that I completely believe in is copyright, trademarks, patents. And one of the shows is going to talk about copyrights, patents, trademarks, called Right Protect. Back 30 years ago, back in the days of Napster, and before, I actually worked on a project that its mandate was to protect audio and video. Couldn't really do it with digital books and stuff like that. You can, but that wasn't the objective of this. It was purely in the music and movie realm. And we had this great solution. And, I was in the startup community in Southern California and went around and pitched it and so on and so forth. And, me and my coder were so tight with what we were interested in doing that I could come up with an idea and he could make it happen. And so when one thing wouldn't work out, we would work on another. I spun up a company that focused on enterprise class anti-spam, and we're talking about 25, 30 years ago now, somewhere in that realm, 25 years ago. And people loved it. It blocked spam from ever leaving the spammer server. I might even bring it back, right? But this, people dug it, didn't want to pay for it. Same thing with the anti-spam service. People dug it, didn't want to pay for it. So when you don't want to pay for it, you become the product that gets sold. That's how free businesses work. Hate to say it. So, hearkening back to what are we going to do about this copyright thing? Well, I'm paying for this streaming service to provide me with licensed music so that I can play it in the background. It's stream compatible music. And what can still happen is a copyright claim. And I have to chase it down, right? It's not a big deal, at least at this point, right? Because I haven't had any DMCA takedowns. I've basically had claims that silenced a little bit of a previous VOD. And that's where the real problem lies. Those VODs, I can stream music right now live. But the moment it becomes a VOD, it becomes an issue because of sync licensing. Yeah, copyright just becomes very, very arcane, and you never know when you might get sidelined by it. So hopefully in the future, we find a way to license streamers on Twitch in such a way akin to what I've referred to in a previous VOD as like a driver's license. If I'm on a platform and I am streaming something, I have a license that covers me. And if I have to retroactively address the number of listens, then so be it. Kind of like radio. Radio, there is a fee associated with the estimated number of listeners. You have to follow a metric ton of other rules. Like you can't play more than X number of songs from a single artist or album in a row, and you can't stream or you can't play music on demand. Like you can call in a radio station, at least this is how it was 20 years ago. You can call into a radio station and say, hey, I'm interested in hearing this song. And they can say, yeah, in the next hour, you might hear that song. And even then, it's not an absolute. Lots of rules and regulations. But, I mean, what streamers do, even huge streamers on a daily basis, 30,000 live listens, right, at a time while they're streaming. Maybe something goes viral and everybody just explodes and shows up for a live stream. You won't hit 1 million. Let me see, what's the... Sorry, I'm actually typing something, and I use mechanical keyboards, and this particular mechanical keyboard is silenced, and I'm not used to it because I got it 8 minutes before the stream started and plugged it in. But it uses cherry red switches, and I'm not used to it being silent. So, wow, actually, there's... Wait, I need to make sure that this is legit. There was a stream that had a peak viewership of 2.4 million on Twitch. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So this happened in March 31 of 2021. And I think a Fortnite gamer named David Martinez, right? A Spanish streamer, I think. I'm not sure of the location specifically, but has the Guinness World Record for simultaneous or concurrent streamers, concurrent viewers. My gosh, do I need more caffeine or something? I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, 2.4 million. So even then, I mean, let me check something else. So let's see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to it's really hard to listen or to find out the number of listeners. So in 2017 there were terrestrial radio listeners to the tune of 256 million. Yeah, it can't be. Total listenership for terrestrial radio in the United States as of January 2017 was 256 million, up from 230 million in 2005. Of the 121 million listeners in markets served by portable people meters in 2021, an average of 7.5 million are listening to a radio at any given time. Up slightly from 2020. All right. Financial news on the APM network named Marketplace is 14.8 million users or listeners per week. They have a different price point per listener. Internet radio streamers, they've got a different price point. But in none of the cases, is there something kind of shadowing them that if something is heard as a fleeting thing in the back end, they lose their stream. They lose their radio station entirely. So it's kind of tough for being an online streamer with music and never knowing really when something's going to come crashing down on them. Kind of a bummer. I'm not in that situation yet. I'm just hanging out, chatting, talking about the news that ohmTown pulls in. RPG Site Best of 2021 Awards. Picks for the year. So if you've never been to RPG Site, go and check it out, rpgsite.net. And the little snippet that I've grabbed is, we didn't know going in how 2021 would play out, and our favorite games of the year surprised even ourselves, which is kind of interesting, right? Why would you be surprised by your own? So they go through theirs. It's quite a long audio stream. You can go and check it out for yourself. If you go through ohmTown, that's wonderful. Sign up, click the link, vote it up, vote it down, make a comment. But be sure to go to rpgsite.net. It is their 2021 kind of a review of everything that they had for top 10, top 20, top 5. I won't be going through this on air, but I don't know if they stumble across this and they say, hey, yeah, go ahead, then sure, I'll talk to anybody about this stuff. But I'm not even going to get into the specifics. I know that there's probably Final Fantasy in there somewhere. Because it's just been exploding since COVID. Whereas WoW has declined because of all of the shenanigans there. Final Fantasy has just taken off. Let's see what else. Weird West delayed until March 2022. That's kind of a bummer. I had heard about this already, but I want Weird West to come out. Fantasy Western Action RPG. It'll be interesting to see this. Again, if you haven't seen this, go and check it out. It's at rpgfan.com. They go into more detail about what it is. They show some pictures of its style. I think everybody will dig it. And it'll come out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows via Steam and GOG. So if you've never been to GOG, you should. They actually send out codes periodically for free games. Just create an account. I get them. Yeah, I don't know what the rate is, but they sporadically send me stuff. And this is kind of what their site, well, this isn't kind of what their site looks like. This is what their site looks like. So come and check it out. Go to GOG.com. I don't have to tell you about Steam. I'm sure you've never heard of Steam. Go to steampowered.com, sign up, download a client. It becomes it is a store, and it allows you to consolidate where all of your games are. And if you don't want them stored on your computer, you can leave them in your library and then install it, play the game, delete it. And you don't have to worry about losing it because it'll always be in your Steam library. It's a neat idea. Others have taken on that as well. I mean, you're probably familiar with either the Windows Store or Apple Store, Microsoft Store, the Google Play Store, oh my God, Epic has its own, Origin has its own. I've got them all. But it's a bummer that Weird West is delayed. And as we go through this front page, which is a composite of all of these categories that are here at the top, right? In the previous 6 shows, I went through 3 and then 3 and then again the first 3 and then back to the second 3. And I've done that for the last 6 days. But today I'm just going to go through the front page and continue on if so desired, and see how this plays out, because it is a more it's a composite of what is on ohmTown, and hopefully the front page contains something that you are interested in. And the way that it works is you just click on a link and it'll take you to the article, and you can click the link that takes you out to the source, then you read it and you come back and you make a comment. I currently don't allow much in terms of submissions of news. There is an option once you're a citizen of ohmTown, but it comes to me and I curate it and throw it into a category, and it's really kind of clunky right now. And I don't think that the objective is to ingest user submitted, citizen submitted news, because everywhere, how about this? If you are interested in a news source being pulled into ohmTown, let me know. Sign up at ohmTown.com, send me a message, and I will evaluate it for inclusion into the ingesting system of ohmTown. Because what I want to kind of mitigate is the thing that I witness on other sites where there's a lot of other noise that comes from multiple individual sources instead of and it's really coming from, and I'll have an impossible task of trying to mitigate duplicates, and my service as it is right now already gets duplicates, and I have to go through it and remove stuff. And so what I want to avoid is multiple people submitting multiple news bits, but it's coming from the same location. So it's difficult, and people find ways around the submission process to get a duplicate thing in. But it really can't be done on ohmTown that way. Because I grab it from the news source itself, and I don't grab the entire thing. I only grab a tiny little snippet. So go check it out and see if you like it, if there's compatibility there. So this is interesting. John Legend sells catalog to KKR BMG. That's pretty fascinating. I'm not sure what the trend is. I don't recall ever hearing with such regularity people selling their catalogs. Maybe it happens a lot more frequently than I recall, but it's one of those things where, when you're young, you didn't have any stress and everything was fun, and didn't have to worry about taxes and didn't have to worry about your mortgage. And so it's one of those, oh, I remember when kind of things, or I got to bring back the old days. Well, there were never any old days, just like people have been selling the catalogs, entire catalogs. I know that there have been in the past. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know the Beatles sold theirs, and Taylor Swift sold hers, and other people have bought it or sold it and then bought it back and blah, blah, blah. But ZZ Top sold their catalog to KKR BMG in December. I mean, talk about just acquiring legendary material. But anyway, I hope you can see that. Seems like the resolution is kind of wonky, but I have a really small window next to me with this material, but I think that you guys probably see it easily. So back to the front page of ohmTown. Snap is suing to trademark the word spectacles in its smart glasses. That's interesting. For those who don't know, the way that trademarks work is it's actually a slice of the whole of the market. So you can use spectacles for smart glasses, and somebody else can use spectacles for not smart glasses. Pardon me, I'm sorry about that. I have a cough button, but I didn't use it. At any rate, the idea of the trademark, this little thing right there, is to protect somebody so that they could market while conducting business. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't trademark it and somebody else starts using it, there's an implied trademark where you put TM, or you just plain use it, right? And then you can apply for a registered trademark. It's like $750 per segment slice. And so depending on what you're doing, you can't use spectacles for smart glasses and clothing unless you declare that clothing is one of those slices, and it costs more to trademark it in that segment. There's actually a technical term for it, but it's slipping my mind right now. At any rate, the idea of using spectacles for a particular smart glasses is going to be it's going to be challenged, because spectacles is the generic old school archaic term for glasses in general. So good luck. Typically something has to become world famous within a particular segment, kind of like what Nike is to shoes. You can never use Nike anywhere else other than buy Nike for Nike products, because Nike will come after you and throw trademark at you. And it has nothing to do with patents. It's all trademark. Patents don't protect terms, and they don't even protect ideas. But we won't go down that rabbit hole. Let's see what else. Astronomers witness a dying star reach its explosive end. We talked about that briefly yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. They watched for something like 120 days, I think it was. Yeah. So this is on phys.org. This is another one, a different article, but still another article where they watched a star, a red supergiant explode. And they watched it for a long time, and it's apparently the first time that a red supergiant was witnessed doing a type 2 supernova. It's pretty neat. The video that they have on their site is actually a artist rendition of it, but you can go and check it out. phys.org. Terahertz light-driven spin lattice control, a new potential path to faster and more efficient data storage. There's been a lot of these fantastical physics-laden storage devices that have been spoken of and thrown out there into the public consumption over the years. I remember a data cube, which just immediately brought forth the ideas of Star Trek of old, where you had to take this little Minecraft cube and set it on a reader and it would read the whole thing. That never came into fruition. But faster, more efficient, larger storage, solid state, so that if you drop it, you don't lose your entire world and go insane simply because all of your data has been lost. I've got several 6 terabyte spinning disks because a 2 terabyte SSD is astronomically expensive. For some, not for others. Don't get me wrong. Cost is subjective, but I can't justify thousands of dollars for storage, but I would suggest being able to, because if you lose your data and you don't have a backup, you're going to be very, very upset, and you can't get that data back sometimes, ever, like not even reconstructing it. I actually lost my honeymoon pictures. I was moving them from one camera onto a computer, and the drive physically crashed. So back in the day, and even today, it's spinning platters on regular hard drives, not SSDs. So these are these little discs, and there's micron distance gaps. Pardon me 1 second. And the idea here was to read the information. But what happened was the arm on the drive touched the platter and wiped out the data. Sent it to data specialists for recovery, never happened. And so I'm out of luck. So solid state would have saved my butt because it wouldn't have physically crashed. Now, there's always the problem with things completely just failing on an SSD, but it's much more likely on an HDD. So let's see what's on page 2. So this was 7 hours ago. That's when it was ingested. And is there anything that's interesting to you? Vergecast has CES 2022 favorites, vaporware, and what may actually ship. This is one of those days where CES used to be just massive, but the pandemic is taking its toll. And it was largely crickets based on the streams that I saw. Neely Patel has been on the scene in tech for as long as I have, it seems. Maybe not. He's been around, but he was an attorney before he became a tech aficionado and entrepreneur. So The Verge has a podcast called Vergecast. You should use whatever podcatcher you have access to and take a listen. You can always go to The Verge and see what their article is, and the audio itself is embedded there. Go and check it out. There was one thing that I saw at CES. I didn't go. It was a video, but a car, they have it on The Verge, but it's a car that can change color. And I thought that was, and it isn't one of those chromatic paints where you turn a corner and people see this car turn from green to blue or something like that. The paint job itself has the ability to change its color. From my understanding, it's on demand, so you can actually change the color whenever you want to. Well, that'll really impact police pursuits, because they're going to say, well, it's a green car. Oh, wait, it's a blue car. Oh, wait, it's a green car again. Okay, never mind. We're just going to call this and we'll catch up to them some other day. Really doubt that's what'll happen. But anyway, go and check out The Verge. And again, if you go through ohmTown, that's great. Sign in, leave a comment, vote it up, vote it down. But definitely go to the source, read the material, come back and chat. And you can even leave pithy little comments with Giphy, because it's embedded in the site. And you can just select an image. And you know what they say about a picture, right? A picture is worth 1,000 words. Now you can just drop that little pithy comment and a Giphy in there, and you'll say a ton. Co-integrating relationship between COVID-19, global fear index, and stock returns. How about that? Literally trading on the fear of COVID. Researchers in Fiji have used the recently developed COVID-19 based global fear index to investigate the impact of the pandemic on 9 major Asia Pacific countries, specifically Australia, China, Hong Kong, India, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, and Thailand. This too is pulled in by phys.org. A long time ago, when I was working on my MBA, one of my goals was to start up an analysis engine that would grab data and make decisions, kind of like an automated platform, but it was more on the holistic side and not just pure numbers. Well, let me tell you, everything has to be numbers when you use an analysis engine, because no analysis engine really understands what monsoon is, or a hurricane, or a volcano, or earthquake, or what COVID-19 is, in such a way that it can say it will have impact. No, it has to be converted into numbers, and then those numbers are merged together to give you a statistical advantage or disadvantage, whatever. I mean, it'll end up always being either a negative advantage or a positive advantage. And so I worked on it for a while, and there's so many people out there that are just so far ahead in terms of quantifying the machinations of the world, that I just kind of stepped back. Thought it was a great academic exercise, and I focused elsewhere. My entire business academics is entirely around strategic management and entrepreneurship. So I like to help people spin up their businesses and solve the problems within their businesses while they continue to focus on the day-to-day operations. I look at their enterprise with a different set of eyes, and one that's not bound by, oh my God, if I don't get enough customers, I can't pay my mortgage. So I don't have that external stressor weighing in on me, and I don't have any internal stressors weighing in on me, such as family. And there you go. 1 second. So this engine is probably doing the exact same thing to some degree, but you should go and read and decide for yourself what you think of it, and come on back to ohmTown. Sound good? Scientists aims to ensure microbe-free Mars samples. Now, what are you going to do? What do you think's going to happen? There's a microbe in there, and we get a sample returned. Unless you irradiate it, you're not going to get rid of it. And even then, who knows what's going to be in that sample? Do you want zombies? Because this is how you end up with zombies. Not necessarily. But I wouldn't put it past the universe. Now that I said it out loud, I'll apologize now for all the zombies that are coming from Mars. Institute for Human Health and Disease Intervention. Eye health. Okay. Oh, pardon me again. No, I don't have a cold. I actually don't know what's going on with this. Let me see. I'm gonna play some music again. I had it paused because I heard something somewhere and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I didn't think that it was a site that I was on. But whatever. So if you have any questions, you stumble across this VOD, if you're in the chat room right now, feel free to ask a question. Happy to answer any comments or questions that you might have. Brand new to streaming on Twitch, brand new to dedicated streaming on a daily basis. If you are interested in business, technology, and society, this hopefully will be an interesting channel for you. I talk about those 3 segments, and they all are coupled into these 6 categories here, and each one of these will eventually be a show hosted or co-hosted by someone and or me. And right now, though, I'm just doing a general overview every day of the news that has been ingested into my website, ohmTown.com. And it is constantly pulling information in. And I used to, if you go back and look at my other VODs, you'll hear me say that I created this thing to be a news aggregator for myself, because I was pulling news from 200 different sources, and it was overwhelming, but it was something that helped me in my field of study and of professional work. And I eventually broke it into these categories, and then I eventually gave these segments of information subgroups. And so each one of these is a segment of news that I am interested in, me personally. And again, because I told other people about it, they think that it's really interesting. It gave me the nerve to throw it out there to the public, and now you too can sign up. And these are hard coded, right? So they'll change when areas of interest change, or it becomes kind of a dead topic. One of these weird ones that most people would call weird is Bead Baby, right? So Bead Baby used to be a website, and in that site you could buy, sell, and trade beads and jewelry findings. I want to do this show, the live sale and trade of beads, handmade beads, manufactured beads if they're there, natural occurring beads that have been shaped by people, and do it live for an hour or 2. It depends on the interest of the people, and basically be in a real-time show talking about beads and the people that make them and the industry, and highlighting the people who craft jewelry around beads. Things like wire wrapping is just amazing. I mean, some of the stuff that people create is just beautiful and outstanding. I'm not one of those people, by the way. I'm just fascinated by the artwork, the designs that people create in their jewelry, in their bead making, and many other things. So when you go to the site, ohmTown.com, you click on the front page, it'll look like this. Why? I need to figure this thing out. Why this is taking longer than it should. Sidney Poitier died today. Well, it was announced that he died today. Meadows asked Supreme Court for prompt answer on a Trump January 6th lawsuit. Good luck with that. Scott Pilgrim anime series in development at Netflix. This is a series of movies. I liked them. I don't know if there's enough following there for an anime series, but hey, I'm sure somebody has some insider information. 12 predictions for the trends we think will own 2022. So who's doing this? So this got ingested into Mobile. Mobile is it was an app in development that was mobile based, and hence mobile mob is mobile. The source is New York Times. So I take this little snippet, but I encourage you to go to New York Times, read the article, come on back if you want to. I suspect that ohmTown will remain a much smaller community, and the signal to noise ratio is different. So you might enjoy ohmTown more. It's designed to be a smaller community of like-minded individuals. Of course, people can have contrarian perspective about things, but for the most part, as long as discourse is civil, everything goes. Anything goes. Just don't be rude. It is a moderated site, and it will be treated, or I should say you should treat it as if you are in somebody else's home, because technically you are. Want you to feel at home on ohmTown, but it really is a place that people come, or hopefully will come, to have a rational conversation and not be a train wreck. So we'll see if that actually happens. So goodbye mocktails, hello mudslides. Mudslides have been around for a long time. Everything old is new again, because mudslides were my mom's favorite. Yeah. And I don't know if you can tell, this mug is not young. Mentally, I'm still, a gamer that's 15 years old and still just enamored by graphics in World of Warcraft. Not so much now because of the way that it is. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Grind hard just to get into the grind hard mode of end game stuff. But mudslides have been around forever. 50 years probably. But if they come back, they come back. Surrealist women will own the moment. Surrealism is definitely in the air. Curator of the 59th International Art Exhibition at the Venice Biennale, told me, noting that female surrealists in particular are everywhere. Right on. Cool. We need more artwork. Moon gazing. Waistlines will get lower. All right. Oh God, I cannot believe that this term is going to get applied where I don't want it applied. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. And this is a news discussion. So for the news itself, I try and step back. When we talk about my particular opinion, I try and make it known it is my particular opinion. But metaverse goes beyond one company. Metaverse shouldn't be one company's perspective. The term is coined by sci-fi author Neil Stephenson in Snow Crash. If you've never read Snow Crash, it's awesome. That alone should invalidate any trademark on metaverse. But anyway, Throw enough money at anything and you can own it. Pretty much anything. I think Tron bikes and Neo in flight. There have been people that have made Tron style bikes. Obviously, you can't get the light wall behind you. It would stop tailgating. But I hope VR gains more and more traction. I love VR. I actually just sold my VR headset. I want wireless VR. I want it entirely wireless. I don't want to have to suspend an umbilical cord from the ceiling so that I don't hang myself as I'm twirling around in my office playing the latest VR game. Put on a tiny hat. I think I'll stop with this. A tiny hat. The way that I read this initially was tin hat. Yeah, kind of have to put on a tin hat nowadays too. Which, by the way, is not conducive to blocking signals. It actually acts as an amplifier based on research that some people have done. Not sure if that's true. But I used to have the domain. Oh, let me see if it's still around. Hold on. I don't want to expose this. Unless it's already taken, and then I won't care. Let's see. Oh, wow. It might be available. So I'll have to hold off on it. But anyway, the idea of a tin hat is pretty long in the tooth, and apparently it will help you get struck by lightning and amplify radio signals and electromagnetic radiation. So don't wear a tin hat. Just saying. Okay, so go and check this out at New York Times. It's lifestyle trends predictions. Who is it by? Let's go look. What? Maybe it's at the bottom. Or is it at the top? Oh, a bunch of writers. Emma Goldberg, Anthony Rotuno, Yodai Stewart, Kate Dwyer, etc., etc. Go check it out. You might dig it. Then come back, make a comment. Let's see what else. Billionaire star rises as she takes bold stance on racism in Brazil. Now, this is something that I spoke about in a previous stream. And it's great that people take a stand against abuse. But I will continue to be troubled by the fact that just because you have a ton of money, it does not make you an expert. It doesn't give you any more insight. It doesn't give you any more ethical compass. You know, it doesn't give you anything that warrants listening more, other than you've got a ton of money. And maybe the words that you say are equally profound. I'd have to look at all of this, but I'm always troubled by the fact that people go, well, they're a star, or they're a billionaire or a millionaire, and hence you should listen to them. Well, no, it just means that they either worked hard or were lucky, or a combination of both. And it's usually that context that really matters. There's always a story there that is more than the marketing hype around someone. But I certainly hope that with the money that this person has, that they do great good. But there are some countries out there where the violence is wildly prevalent. And even in the United States, there is wild levels of violence. And we see a lot of it online, but it pales in comparison to what is really out there, what's really happening around the world, and within the United States. And I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm just saying that what we see pales in comparison to what is really happening around the world and next door to where we live. And that level of abuse happens in the dark. And I've mentioned this in previous VODs. So I'll try not to keep on harping on the same thing multiple times, but you should go and check this article out and evaluate it, but it's really interesting to see additional perspective and get a holistic understanding of your place in the world, and see if you can do great good or come up with an idea and spin it into a business, and then from a business that is struggling to one that becomes a lifestyle business where you can go and do anything that you want to for the most part, and then spin that into a major enterprise where you're hiring people to pull away the obligations that you have every day so that you can enjoy the rest of your life, while keeping people employed and enabling them to take on the roles of running your business, to the point where they feel secure to start up their own businesses, preferably in a different sector. That way that they're not directly competing. But regardless, it starts with you being motivated and educated and understanding the global dynamic of business and technology and society. And this is just one person, hopefully doing great good, just like you can too. So with that in mind, I think I've done an hour. I will start seeking to expand this into 2 hours. An hour just isn't really enough for me to expound upon any one topic, because I want to go over everything a little bit. The more I scroll, the more I click, the more I absorb, the more I want to give context to from my perspective and have a conversation with you about your perspective. I think it would be a great thing to build the community that is not just ranting at each other, that isn't but it's still focusing on the discussion at hand, and not necessarily the seemingly dumpster fire that I sometimes see elsewhere. I want to have rational conversations with people, and I'm happy to pull you into a real-time chat. I can throw you up into a little, oh my gosh, my perspective is off. That blank area up there, it actually has a spot for donations and follows and subscribers. It's not active right now, and I want to be able to put another person up there in that spot right up there above chat. And I want to see more chat. I want to see people coming in and talking about their perspectives and asking questions, and there's no dumb question. I want to be able to help answer questions that you might have, primarily on 3 subjects, right? Business, technology, and society. But I'm a gamer, I'm a maker, I do 3D printing. I've got a laser. I've got CNC. I've got a mill. I pretty much have done a little bit of everything, and I want to be able to talk to people about it. Yes, on the internet. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and thank you for coming by ohmTown on Twitch. Stop by the website, ohmTown.com, become a citizen. If you would be so kind, you can follow me on Twitch. That's the preferred location. But join me on ohmTown.com in parsing all of the news. If you find something that you value, then stick around for a show tomorrow. Again, it'll be at 6 o'clock, go to 7, maybe 7:30, maybe 8, maybe even longer. I might play a game afterward. But I'm a casual gamer. I don't have time to be a hardcore where I'm playing the game for 8 hours a day. But maybe, with more people coming to the stream and chatting me up and subscribing, there's always the possibility that I will continue to stay online longer. But for the time being, I'm at an hour up to 2 hours. And then it really depends on my free time because I still do a full-time gig. Anyway, thank you very much for stopping by. This has been Merwatt from ohmTown, and see you tomorrow.